Hi everyone. Everyone that is viewing on YouTube Live. We're here streaming live, and today is WCD Coaching's podcast 1 year anniversary. And I have some
Woo!
special guests with me. Yay! I have some
So
close family
exciting.
and friends here too. I see coming in, and they will be coming up and sharing as well about the broadcast or whatnot. We do have a couple of ladies that want to stay safe and they're on the road. So they will be popping in or whatnot once they get back to the safe destination. So today, you guys, we're just going to celebrate and we're going to talk about, some of your favorite topics when you guys interviewed, and, what points did you take? Just looking back to last year, we started off as Women Committed to Life, and then we were rebranded to WCD, which stands for WC to Life Coaching Dreams Incorporated. So we've been through a couple of rebrandings, and that's normal. When you're starting a business and you're becoming an entrepreneur, I never thought, I would be here. So the podcast is the first implementation, and now it is called the Driven Life Show, and we are on multiple platforms, and we are booming this year. And I just want to thank everyone just for your support and just coming on to interview and sharing it out to family and friends. And so today we're going to be talking about leaping in time, and I just want you guys to just flow and talk about what leaping means to you, and just the journey that you guys have had even within 2021, and the things that you birthed out of 2020. So Michelle in Tanzania Bacon is here. Michelle Renee in Tanzania Bacon is here. And again, we have a couple of more people that's going to come on. But um, Tanzania, do you want to get started with introducing yourself? And we'll go from there.
Sure. Hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm Tanzania Bacon. I am the founder of Built for Us. Built for Us is a coaching company that helps solo parents who have lost a spouse and now they're trying to raise their babies by themselves. And so I'm so excited to be here. I am so glad to be here with Karen, celebrate her 1 year. I'm just supposed to be doing introduction, right? I think
Thank
so.
you, Tanzania.
I'm just supposed to be doing introduction.
Yes, yes, and
Okay.
then we'll go to Michelle, and then you guys. I'm going to ask you some questions one by one, so you
Okay.
guys will
So
be.
that's who I am. I'm sorry. I'm excited.
No, that's okay, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Renee, and I own a jewelry company. It's faith-based jewelry, and it's called Far More Than Rubies. And it's where you can wear your inspiration and be reminded of your worth. And so I'm just excited to be here celebrating 1 year. I mean, that's so exciting. And I just feel honored and blessed to know Karen and to be a part of this. And I'm excited about what the future holds for her and where she's going. So I'm just excited to be a part.
All right, thanks so much. We have someone else here that is close to me. I'm gonna bring her up on camera. She is my co-pastor, and I want to make sure see if she have any words. I'm getting ready to add her because I do have some close friends and family that are coming in, and her name is Cynthia Pfeiffer. Cynthia, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Did you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Cynthia Pfeiffer, and I am Karen's co pastor. And I am so excited to be here with her tonight. Very proud of her. And she is an example that when you put your mind to it, you can do anything because everything is possible. So I'm excited for you, Karen.
Thank you, LC. Thank you for tuning in. So we're just going to get started, ladies. So I'm going to start with you, Tanzania. Can you share um, the interview topic and the time that we spent and what you got out of that topic, what it meant for you and your business, and how did it entail your future?
Sure. Um, so I believe my topic was kind of lengthy, but it was about jumping, taking the leap, And so that has meant so much to me. Anybody who knows me know I love helping other people. I love being a support to other people. And so this is something that's not new to me, but being in front of people is something that I just ain't, you know, I ain't got there yet. People keep praying for me. But it has definitely it was definitely amazing. Talking about my leap, talking about how I was able to stop worrying about what I couldn't do and put more effort into what I could do. And so taking that leap has changed my life. Trying to go from being an employee to an employer is has become um,
Yeah.
it's challenging,
Yeah.
because your mindset, your whole mindset has to shift. And so in this year of 2020, or now 2021, thank goodness, um, I have had to literally change my whole mindset set on how I think about myself as a person, how I think of my children, and how I'm going to run my household. So
Yeah.
it has been tremendously hard, because starting a business is not easy. You have a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of
Yes.
frustration, a lot of doubt. You have just a lot of things. Every day you wake up and you have to fight even within yourself to tell
Yes.
yourself you can do it, you're going to do it. And even those times, because I've had a few times where I've put things out there, and some of
Hmm.
my greatest heartbreaks was because people would not receive what I put out there, and that was one of my limiting beliefs. And so as I had to tackle every day another limiting belief, it became harder and harder. But
Yeah.
here I am now. I took the leap of faith, and it's changed my whole life tremendously. um y'all forgive me because I always forget exactly what I'm supposed to be talking about. But the podcast with Cameron was very enlightening. I love telling my story, because people don't know who you are, they just know what they see. So when I
Yeah.
tell you exactly who I am and what I've been through, I'm so grateful and I'm so glad that I don't look like what I've been through. So that has been my journey, and it's hard, and but every day it gets easier because every day I wake up. Like today I had time, and instead of doing I could what I could have done, I said, "Oh, this is what I'm going to do." And I literally, because my employer failed me today, I did not fail myself because I employed myself. So even though they didn't want to work with me today, I worked with myself, and so
Yeah.
I was able to get so much more accomplished because I'm driven, because I took that leap. So I'm excited, and it has definitely changed my life for the better.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your testimony, Tansy. Michelle, can you tell me about your experience, what leaping in your time means to you, and the experience that you had when we interviewed with Uncovering Feelings and Emotions?
Yeah, so it was super exciting for me because I had never been on a podcast before. So that was my very first time. And so it was just an honor that you asked me. And we just had a great time of talking about and walking through our feelings. And, a lot of times your feelings will get you in trouble. And so right now in the place that I'm at, trying to take my feelings and keep them hidden under the word and to keep
Yes.
them in check with that. And so to always check myself as to what are these feelings? What do they mean? And what are they saying to me? And, Karen and I talked about mindset and, Tanzania, you brought that up, how important our mindset is in that, what we're thinking about, that's where we're going to go. And that's the things that are going to happen in our life is what we keep telling ourselves. And taking a leap, wow, for me, I had to take a huge leap in January. I had to transplant my daughter and I into my parents' home. And that was a huge leap. But now it's like, I'm in this place. It's like I was thinking of the word leaping, and leaping is like moving, but God has me in a place. I had to take the initial leap, but now He has me in a place where I'm to be still. And I'm just leaping into His word and studying, if that makes sense. It's just like I took the initial leap, And now I'm just excited. Karen and I talked about today, like things that God is doing. He is moving in such a great way. And I'm just excited and keeping my feel, but still I got to keep my feelings in check and know, is this something from God, or is this just what Michelle wants to feel? Is she getting off on a tangent or whatever? So I really enjoyed our time, Karen, speaking and, talking with you about feelings. And I just had to say, your podcast that you did about my feelings, I forget the date. I actually have listened to that 3 times, and it was so powerful. You talking about, what happened to you in March of 2020. And wow, that was just so powerful. Like when you talked about the temporary, seasonal, permanent, and lifetime, the places that we are and things that happen, are they temporary? Are they seasonal? That was such a powerful podcast, girl. I just had to tell you that. It really, really spoke to me. And I appreciate you so much.
Karen's coming back on. Her Wi-Fi went out, but oh, so great. Technology is so tired, and it's okay. It never sleeps.
Okay, we're back, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it sounds like I think somebody hit something outside. I don't know what that was, but you can go ahead and finish sharing, Michelle.
No, yeah, that's just what I was talking about your podcast that you did about feelings. And
Mm-hmm.
just how much that spoke to me, that I've actually watched it 3 times now. And that I just thought it was so powerful about you talking about the temporal, the seasonal, all these different
Yeah,
stages in your life. And that, if you're stuck, you're not moving. And,
that's right.
and so I love that. I wrote that down. And, and how you talked about dating Christians and all these things, like it's just so powerful for us to know. And that if you are stuck, you're not moving, you're not leaping, you're not doing anything. And so that's really spoke to me, because it's like, I need to pick up my mat and go. And so I just appreciate you and your
Yes.
podcast, because it just speaks volumes. And so if you haven't watched that one, you need to go back and listen to her on that one. It was very powerful.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And just Michelle, you speaking about last year, and let's just go back to season. A lot of different things happened to us even in the pandemic, and I'm glad that co-pastor, and she's also my daughter's mother as well. I remember a time, I don't know if she remembered this. I know she's on here listening, but I remember there was a time years ago when hey, OC, there was a time when she was praying over us and the body of Christ about businesses in the direction that we were going in. And this was years ago. And I was like, I don't even know why I'm standing up here. And I remember her saying to me that I still had some more soul searching to do. I remember that. I thought about that today. And I never thought that I had it in me to even be a leader or go out there and do things, but you never know what God has for you. So just being under her leadership and under my bishop's leadership, Bishop J.L. Pfeiffer, and just learning from them, growing from, our sisters and brothers in Christ, like we're learning from each other now. It made me stay more in tune with God. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? What is it more that I need to do? And I didn't tap into it until last year during the pandemic. I didn't tap into it until March. So I'm just grateful and thankful for me just being inclined to, God's voice and just seeking Him daily on what I'm supposed to do, and I'm loving it. I'm doing it, and I know that it's a process, but this is something that we have to celebrate the small steps, and we have to celebrate how we came out of this or that. And so, I mean, I'm definitely grateful, and just grateful that each and every one of us have a purpose and we have something to do. Overseer, would you like to share?
I think that I did not get to look at the leap, but I did watch different podcast that you did during the year, and I thought that it's just an awesome platform. I've watched it grow to what it is right now. And one of the things that, when it comes to taking a leap in something, I can honestly say that during the pandemic, it was just definitely just a different change in my life. And I learned to be more intentional. And I can honestly say that right now I am living my life intentional. And to be intentional means to do something on purpose, to be deliberate about it, and breaking out of comparison traps, and not looking at what other people are doing, but doing what God has put in my hands to do. And I've been blessed to birth souls into the kingdom of God. And one of the things that I
Yes.
realized that we can do as leaders and people that spearhead different ministries or businesses or entrepreneurs is we have that danger of getting caught up in the lives of other people, because we start rescuing and start encouraging and start
Yeah.
structuring and leading people. But there comes a leap that you have to take for your own life, and you have to not get so caught up in other people's lives, or their challenges, that their challenges become your challenges, their disappointments become your disappointments, all those
Yeah.
things. And so I've had to, during the pandemic, God helped me to leap into a new season in my life. And I was able to, in March, God gave me an idea, and He let me know that I need to become intentional, that I was becoming intentional. And from that, in March, through a series of whoopings from God, from a series of just getting down to brass tacks with Him, letting Him, show me different things about planning and what was keeping me from fulfilling the vision of my life. I was able to publish my first book, Becoming Intentional, and I did that in September. In just May, I did my book
Yep.
launch. So I'm just truly, I thank God for you, Karen. I thank God for Michelle, and for Tansy, and just what God is doing in you all's lives. And I just encourage you to go full force in everything that God gives you, because you've got to take the leap. And like they say, when you just go ahead and leap, and the net will appear, and that net happens to be God's safety, His instructions, His vision, His love, His wisdom. It will appear. Until you leap, you'll just be sitting there waiting for something to happen. But once you leap, it all comes into fruition. So thank you for letting me share.
You're welcome. Thanks, OC. um I just think you all, and you all have been a great support. You all have been very supportive and just very encouraging, whether it was just you know each and every one of us, or especially me. Maybe I didn't feel like recording, or maybe I didn't feel like writing down that business plan. If it was something else on my mind, I would say, hey, okay, this is what I need. God, I need you, or I need my sisters and brothers in Christ, to pray for me. Because I do believe we need that strength and that encouragement. Because sometimes we get frustrated because we feel like, well, I'm doing all this, but it's but then it's like we have to take our hands off of it, and we have to let God have it. We have to. I remember a sermon. I'm so glad Overseer is on here. I remember a sermon that Overseer spoke on Fourth Sunday, and she was saying that our direction needs to come from God. We need to be asking God who to connect us with. Who needs to connect with our business? Who should I get? To orchestrate this, because everybody is not going to be like minded like us, and like everybody's not going to be, like Overseer said, intentional. Um, about what you're doing for the kingdom and what you're doing for the world and for the community. So, I just thank God for, those right connections and those right peers who are telling me, how to do things and how to, keep things in the right way, do things in the right order. And so, even with you, Tanzania and Michelle, you guys have, launched businesses in 2020. And, you want to talk a little bit about it, Tanzania, what Built for Us is? Because all of us don't know about Built for Us. So can you just share a little bit about that?
Sure. So before I get into that, so that just when you were just talking about that, one I've been really meditating on two scriptures. One is man plans his ways and God directs his path. And so I say that because um I was in the midst of I've did a lot in this last year of Built for Us, but I asked God, to put me in front of the right people, and even if it was uncomfortable and it didn't feel good, just to do it. And so I really do believe that he is directing our path in everything that we do. We have plans, because if you don't have plans, then you setting yourself up to fail. But God directs our path even in our plans. So that scripture just really came to my head, because I'm like, yeah. Even when I think about the connections I've made in the last month, they have literally turned my business like around, and I'm like
It's
so
awesome.
excited, nervous but excited, because I know that it was divine connection, divine intervention. So, Built for Us, who it's my heart, that is my heart and soul. So this is what Built for Us is. Built for Us is a company where we coach. We do group coaching. We
Hmm.
have a membership, and we have one-on-one coaching. I coach single parents or solo parents who have
Hmm.
lost a spouse, and now they're raising our kids. I take them through a 5-step process that I call the Built process, which is so amazing because it's begin understanding intentional living together. And
Hmm.
so it is what I did. So I'll tell you a little bit
It's
of my
awesome.
story, and because I don't want to take too much time. So I was engaged. My fiance was murdered, who is also my kid's father. And then I had to learn how to manage life. In the first year, I told people, "Oh, I'm not grieving. I'm good. I got this." But I made some very, very, very crazy decisions. I mean,
Yeah.
it works together. It really works together. Um, and it's working together even now, which is amazingly crazy. But it works together. But in that time, I had to become in touch with who I was and how I wanted to structure my family and how I wanted to build my family. One thing I always tell people is you build the family that you want. I knew how my parents raised me, I knew how their parents raised them, but I knew that I wanted it to be different for me and my kids. And so I had to take some very intentional steps, some very deliberate steps to turn me and my family around. Now, it took some time, but in this 5-step process, I walk with the parent through one of the darkest times of their life. And that is why, while they're grieving, they still have to live life. They still have to raise their kids. They still have to show up to parent teacher conference. They still have to
Yeah.
interact with their children. They still have to be present in some very hard settings. And so I walk with them through this process so that they can not only go through the grieving process in a healthy manner, but so they know that they have a community of people around them, that when they want to be mad, they can be mad in a judgment free zone, and
Yeah.
nobody is going to make them feel bad about it.
That's
Nobody is
good.
going to tell them you shouldn't be angry, or girl,
Hmm.
you got to go to a parent teacher conference, get your face together. But no, today is not the day. They can literally be able to feel their feelings,
Yes.
but in a healthy manner, process their feelings so that they can go through the grief process. um grief has
Hmm.
no Grief has no certain type of way. Like, you
That's
don't
right.
go from acknowledgement to denial to anger. It
Mm.
Listen, it don't work like that. Today I may be happy and tomorrow I may be
That's true.
balled out crying. Here it is
Hmm.
6 years later, and I still have days where I just have to tell people today is not the day.
Yeah.
I need to be with myself today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And so, Built for Us, we are building this community that not only supports these individuals, but it helps us rebuild and restructure and restore our family units back to a healthy place. Family is the central point of life. And so when you don't
Yes.
have a strong family, you don't create strong individuals. So we help to restore, rebuild, and restructure these families, and give them a sense of purpose in life. And so that is what Built for Us is. It is my heart's work. This is not something I do for coins. This is something I've been doing ever since
Yeah.
I've had to endure this pain. This is not something that this is my heart's work. Anybody who knows me know I just love to be able to push people to where they
Yes.
need to be. Me and Karen has had plenty of nights where we stayed up to 2 and 3 o'clock crying, not crying, talking, smiling.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I'm mad, and so that is what it's about: being able to be comfortable and be vulnerable at a very hard time in your life. So that's what Built for Us is, and that's what we do.
That's awesome, Tansy, because as you were, speaking of that, it goes back to the broadcast, uncovering feelings and emotions. And I don't know if you or overseer have caught that broadcast, but I was sharing about even my daughter's relationship with her father, and just me and Michelle was talking about just different feelings, even her feelings with her husband. And I was saying that you have to be able to let them feel what they're feeling, and you can't be like, okay, well, I moved on from that. And I said, yeah, they do have to move on from that, but they gotta feel and tell you how they're feeling, because every day is
Yeah.
not going to be a good day. Okay. So I'm also, I'm just proud of you, Tansy, what you're doing for Built for
Thank
Us, and
you.
any way that we can support. I'm just so happy for
Yeah.
you. And we're gonna go around the room. I'll go to Michelle, and then I'm gonna go to Cynthia. Michelle, can you tell all of us about Far More Than Rubies?
Yes, Tanzania, that's so beautiful. You need to come to Ohio and, and start one there. Here, I mean, wow. I mean, I'm just thinking of a couple friends that I have who have lost their spouse, and like, what a beautiful way to build community. Because, like you said, I mean, there's not like, you have 3 months to mourn and then you better move on. That's it's just
Yeah.
so beautiful, since like you said, it's up and down and whatever. So that I love what you're doing. That's so beautiful. So for me, Far More Than Rubies is a company based out of Atlanta. It's under the corporate company is called Sanctuary Girl, and my company is called Far More Than Rubies. And it's interesting about the name is because I was praying about it, and I said, God, I really need a name for the company. And really just like that, I heard Far More Than Rubies, and I thought, oh, that's awesome. Like, Lord, that's great. I can talk to women about, you know if their spouses or whatever aren't treating them how they should or whatever, but to let women know that they're worth far more than rubies. That's how God views us. Little did I know that 7 months later that the Lord would show me that name of that company was for me, and that I am worth far more than rubies, and that I had to take a stand for me and my daughter, and I had to leave my marriage. And so, God, I like to say God never does one thing for one reason. And so, he was really looking out for me, and he birthed this name, and all along here it was for me. But I want women to know their worth and their value. And so it's a faith-based company, and like the necklace that I love to wear, this charm, it says, be still and know. And so, Proverbs 46:10, it's just so important. I mean, I love wearing God's word. I love wearing his word. And like one of the other bangles that I wear is God is working all things out for my good. And so, it's faith-based. It's just scriptures. Today I had on a t-shirt that said spiritual gangster.
Yeah.
And I was like, and my post was, I am anything but that in the natural. I wear a pencil skirt and high heels, but in the spirit, I'm totally gangster. And, I will
Yes.
pray, and I will beat up, I will fight any demon in hell for anybody. And so I am a spiritual gangster. So that's what Far More Than Rubies is. It's just a beautiful company that, just shares God's light and love, and encourages and tries to embolden women as to who they are in Christ.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Michelle. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
sharing. Yeah, I've seen some of the content on Michelle's website, and all of her content speaks for herself. The clothes, the jewelry, the necklaces. Like, she's always inspired by the word, and I love that. So you guys have got to shop. And now Cynthia has a couple of businesses, so I want Cynthia to talk a little bit about her businesses.
Well, again, I want to say thank you so much to Karen, and I've really enjoyed Tansy and Michelle talking about the brand and how they
I think she got frozen, didn't she? Might be the signal. Okay, she'll be back on. I think she's coming back on now. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I lost your connection. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but what Karen was talking about is where I am an entrepreneur, and I am 62 years old and getting close to retirement. And I guess I've been in business for 10 years. Started with Events Extravagant, with an event planning business, and I also do balloon decor. So I build things out of balloons, caricatures, walls, you name it.
Yeah.
I just love working with balloons. And then from there, I branched out into doing tumblers and T-shirts to support that, because my whole focus was not just to go into business for myself, but to make an avenue where other Christians I can employ other people that may have a hard time getting jobs or have sources of income. And so from there, I started. Again, the pandemic happened, so the balloon business just, people weren't having events and weren't doing things like that. And so, in the midst of the pandemic, God just really, I started going back through old journals and looking back through old materials that I have written. My husband and I are in ministry together. So, as a result, I've written plays and manuals and teachings and ministers and training classes and all those things. And to make a long story short, Cycle Breakers for Life um, was something that was birthed out of the pandemic, basically because of personal experience. And, I've experienced a lot of hurt in my life, having been born to a mother who was in prostitution, having to, as a result of her drug addiction. It left me going from this foster home to that foster home. And so, at a very young age, I developed a lot of um, cycles, a lot of things that were inborn into my life based upon the environments that I lived in. And so growing up, you giving my life to Christ, of course, a great deliverance happened in my life. God just truly delivered me from so many different things, more, not so much outwardly, but inwardly. And Cycle Breakers for Life is a Christian platform to help people. It's a safe place where people can um, break out of the cycles, those internal cycles that keep them going around and around in their lives, to the point that they're never changing, never advancing, never
Yeah.
succeeding. They have the dreams, have the visions, but their internal hurts and fears have kept them bound up for so long. And so, Cycle Breakers for Life, I provide life coaching. I've been a life coach since 2008, and never really did anything with it because I do more counseling, as a pastor's wife. But God has truly opened up a new door, networked me with some awesome people, and just picked up some old tools that were planted in my spirit a long time ago. And Cycle Breakers for Life is that platform now that I'm ministering from, to provide life coaching and counseling to people who are needing to break out of negative cycles. And the thing about the cycles is, anything that you do over and over again, expecting something different, is the definition of insanity. And
Yeah.
the emotional turmoil that people go through, the mental turmoil that people go through, are things that you don't see when they're performing a job, when they're going to work every day or parenting their children. That internal hurt and pain is something, and people need to be allowed or given a place to admit that this is the cycle that I'm in and I need help to get out of it. And
Yeah.
so we exist to help people break out of those cycles. So thank you for letting me share, Karen.
Thank you, overseer. I call her overseer, you guys. As my co-pastor, but thank you so much, you all, for sharing. your businesses and how, God has just, elevated you in all of these journeys of your life. And that goes to show that we can be anything and do anything we want to do. The pandemic doesn't have to stop us. We just have to, keep going forward and making sure that God is in the forefront of our lives. So now I'm going to be waiting for you guys to podcast your brand so I can listen and so I can follow. So y'all got to do that now. But thank you so much, you guys, just for sharing. And I do have a couple more questions. I know that you guys have, heard the podcast, whether you've interviewed or whether you just heard it or whatnot. And I have, noticed that, you've shared it out and you support it. So, I just feel like that is something when I listen to all of you guys talk about your business and what it entails, it's pretty much like we, are in it for the same thing. It's not the money, it's about the souls, like Cynthia was saying, it's about the souls, it's about the community, it's about the people, and it's also helping us because you never think about it. It's like, wow, I didn't start this for me. I started this for somebody else so they can get saved, delivered, and set free, so they can come out of whatever they need to come out of. And I think that's what it is was for me. Even when we was at home last year, and I was still working in quality at the time, and I was at home and I just spent endless nights researching on my own, listening to professional people who already had their businesses established, and God just gave me the topics for 12 whole months already. Like I would write the topic down. Even I would pray about it and I'd be like, oh wow, I already got topics for 3 or 4 or 5 months. That's because I wasn't doing it my way. I was doing it God's way. And when we do things our way, we know it's a mess sometimes. I know I can say that it's been a mess. And then it's like, okay, God, I let you have this, and look what we have to offer. It's like, look what the people are saying. We want them to say good things. We want them to be able to get healed from certain things in their lives, because we want to be able to help them like we're helping ourselves. Like you're saying, Karen, you can do it. Michelle, you can do it. Tanzania, you can do it. Cynthia, you can do it. Ray, you can do it. You can do. It's like you're saying, you can do anything that you want to do when you put your mind to it. So it comes with practicing. It comes with your studying, and like you said, it's hard. It's hard. It's a process. It's money involved, but it's your purpose. And like Tanzania is saying, it's your baby. It's your calling. So would you spend money on everything else, or are you going to invest in your business? Because it does take time, and you have to do little things at a time to get there. Write down the plans and write down the ideas or whatnot, and be like, okay, I can start working on this now, and then maybe next year I can start working on this other idea. But I would just say, I just want to encourage everybody, even out there that's listening, that will catch the replay, that take your time, but go ahead and leap though. And what I mean is go ahead and leap in faith, is not being scared to do what you're called to do, not being scared because somebody else is got the same business that you have. You don't know who God is going to network you with. There's a lot of us that has the same business, but it is for some of us to network together. And that person out there needs what you need. They need what you have. And just like that other person that has the same business that you have, it's somebody else that needs them too. But don't get distracted by, we're in the same business together, or we're coaching, or we sell clothes and jewelry, or well, I have this restaurant, for instance, or ice cream shop. Well, she's got 2 ice cream shops, I only got 1. It doesn't matter. You go forth and do what you're called to do, because it's gonna flourish. And you just gotta believe in yourself. And that's what we're discussing about, just leaping. Go ahead and leap and start writing down the ideas. Start writing the vision out and making it plain. It's gonna come to pass, but you gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta be around positivity people, because you don't want to be around people that's negative, that's going to bring you down. So we're all in it to win it. And we're all supposed to be, close sisters and brothers in Christ. We're all supposed to be able to come to each other and be like, hey, what can we do? What can we do, to support? Or how can I help my sister or brother? How can I, it could even just be a hug or a smile or something. And then you never know, that person may just start getting and working on their business. You know what I'm saying? It's like helping, reaching back, just reaching back and be like, what I got to do, what I'm saying, to pull each other up. And so now I'm just leaving it the floor to you guys to share anything else that's on your heart or on your mind. Um,
So I'm going to just piggyback off of something you just said. So when I became a life coach, it's something I've been trying to do, but I was able to be certified last year during the pandemic. And my sister, me talked about it because she's a social worker. So we were talking, bouncing ideas, and I've always wanted to be a parent coach. And I actually sought out a group of parent coaches, and so now I'm in this amazing parent coach club. And one thing we always say is collaboration over competition, and I
mm,
say that because now, mind you, we're parent coaches, and when I say we're spread across the world, I'm talking about Israel, Pakistan, India. We're all over California, Alaska, um, Canada, and the founder is out of Canada. But we all come together. If somebody's having a hard session, we come together, we brainstorm, and we find out how to help that parent move forward. And so I think if when we as a people understand that everyone is called to someone, and you just need to find who your someone is. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to get your somebody. Let me just find my somebody. And if we could come together and find somebody's or the whole nation, hey, then let's do that. But if we stop thinking about competition and just start collaborating, it will be amazing. In this parent coach club, I have literally saw issues that I thought were like beyond me. I took them to the table, and they were like, "Oh, we can help you." Boom, boom, boom. And when I left that 45-minute call to an hour call, I had strategy. I had like wisdom. People were pushing me forward, and it's not because they thought I was going to take their client. It's because they're like, "Yeah, I can't service them. I don't know how to do that. Let me give them to you." And so I think that is so amazingly wonderful that when we find out who we are and who we're supposed to serve, and we just zone in on that, then everything else kind of just falls in place. I know for me, I never wanted to be a business owner. I'm okay with, working a good schedule, making some good money. I just wanted to make sure my kids were good. And so when I had to get pushed out into this whole entrepreneurial thing, I literally was like, well, God, this is not for me. I have a brother and a sister who loves entrepreneurship. Give it to them. Like, I don't
uh-huh.
want that. But he said, no, you. And so when I leaped out there, I had two midwives, and I call them midwives because they literally took what was inside of me and they helped me through the labor pains. They helped me through the birthing process. And after I came out of both of those, the time I spent with them, which was my laboring period, I saw what God was really birthing. And even now, I just finished like a 10-session package with an amazing parent coach who coaches parent coaches all over the world. And she literally pulled
Mm,
out of me what was
wow.
already in me, but I could not see it. So I think when we as a people stop worrying about who it is or what it is, and we
Yeah.
start saying, oh my goodness, I'm here for a divine purpose, let me pull out of them what they really don't see in themselves, then we're able to live more happy and free, and we can go on about it. So um, that's kind of all I have left, probably in me. But that whole collaboration over competition, that is our slogan in the Parent Coach Club, because we always collaborate. Because
what the Bible say, one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. And so at the end of the day, we're stronger together than we are apart. So
That's
let's
right.
come together and push
Yes.
forward instead of me trying to pull you down like the crabs in a barrel. So
That's good.
You girls are all getting me so excited. Like I'm over here, I'm taking notes actually. I just love how like Overseer and Tanzania, you just are just you're inspiring me because I feel like that I am still laying on my mat. And you know the story where Jesus told the man to pick up his mat and go. Um, and Karen, when you said like I've been feeling that God wanted me to do lives, and I was like, but God, like I used to do them every day for like 4 years, and then I felt He told me it was time to focus on my family. But every morning I'd get up and it'd be popping, like I knew what to say. And then one day, like Forrest Gump, I just stopped. There was nothing. And so when you said that God gave you 12 months of topics, I was like, Lord, I received that for myself because I don't want to move unless, I mean, I know you have to take a leap, but I don't want to get on there and just start talking. If you want me to do a live, then you give me the topic, Lord, and I'll do it. So I just want to thank you, you ladies, for pouring into me and like really just giving me confirmation and feeding my soul. And like you said, it is a collaboration. There's a whole, this world is so big and I don't have to worry about Tanzania taking anybody from me or me. We can all work together. We all have
That's
something
right.
to share and bring together. And that's what I love. And I just want to thank you ladies for pouring into me tonight and for giving me confirmation. I appreciate that. And Karen, I mean, you are just so inspiring and I'm just so blessed and honored to call you friend. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Overseer, do you have anything for closeout or encouragement to the ones who will be
Just real
watching?
quick, yeah, I just I'm just supercharged. Listening to Tansy talking about built for us, and I could just see her building. She was talking about her burden and everything, and I'm just blessed to see. And Michelle, I've never met you before, and just listening to you, and I think you I think God is doing more in you than you give Him credit for, because I just learned a lot from you tonight, even as you were talking and sharing, and I just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and letting God do it. And of course, Karen, you're the bomb, and I thank you for this platform. I have a confession to make. I entered just to support Karen. I didn't know that I was going to be on here. So this was this was not.
See how God
I
works.
didn't have anything written out or anything like that. I was shooting from the hip tonight, but I just really I'm passionate about the things that I do, and both Tansy and Karen both know me very well. And one of the things that Tansy said about collaboration over competition, and people that know me know I pull back real quick when it comes to competing stuff. I don't like it. It wastes time, and I just believe in
Yeah.
supporting people when they do things, and I'm a supporter, and that's what got me where I was. I supported people so much that I didn't even look at what was in my own life. I was all I'm gonna put cheering you with pom poms. People may not give me the credit for that, but I do, and I'm there for you. I'll be there if I'm in your life. I'm be there 100%. And I've learned though that everybody, people are not always. You have to pray for your team. You have to pray for what the connections that God has for you, that He will network you to those people. And so there are some new people in my life. I did not know them a year ago, and just God has just enlarged my territory just by
Yeah.
praying about it. Seeking Him about it. There were some things that I needed in order to be successful, and I think sometimes, we're just not. What's the word? It's like children. You can't feed your children breakfast and expect them to cook you dinner at night. You know, when
Hmm.
they can't even reach the stove, and sometimes because we're
Yeah.
pastoring, and sometimes because we're pastoring, and been pastoring for 20 some years now, my biggest fallacy was trying to make my congregation my friends when those are the people that I was serving. And it has not that I love them dearly, but I learned that I was wounded And when I
Yes.
found, God in a new way, he, he just showed me a new love for my life, and
Yes.
which has made me love people harder. And so I just encourage everyone that in the midst of all that you're doing, make sure that you stay healthy yourself. Make sure that you stay healthy yourself. Make sure that, you really cling to God and let him pour into your spirit, pour into your heart, pour into your mind, because
Yes.
there are some things that you can do to help yourself.
Thank you. I'm mute. Mute. I think we must be sitting on. Can you hear? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing. And I'll do a part two. I'm going to do a part two tomorrow because there are some others who really would like to come on and share as well. So I'm going to do a part two of the celebration since it is the weekend. So I'm going to do a part two tomorrow at 7. So if you guys want to come on back in and speak or listen, I'm going to do a part two tomorrow. I just thank you so much, Overseer, for coming up. I put you on the spot. Yes, I did. And she's a speaker anyway. So she did well. Thank you so much, Michelle and Tanzania. Thank you so much for your support and even just taking time out of your busy schedule, even to come interview and just share with everyone. About the episodes and the topics or whatever, because we want people out there in the community to receive something. We want them to receive something good, whether that's healing or they just need encouragement. So thank you all for taking time out tonight. Even you, Overseer, you're busy as well. Taking time out to come and support. I love you all. I really enjoyed the conversation and just hearing you guys' stories. Even though I know I've heard them before, but everybody else out there hasn't. And so someone needs you guys' voice. Someone needs to hear your story. And I thank you so much for coming on the Driven Life Show. We will continue tomorrow, part two at 7 p.m. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I love you and happy 1 year
Thank
anniversary.
you.
Everyone have a good night. Love you
Yay!
all.
Thank you. Love
Thank
you.
you, Karen. Love you. Thank you.
Love you.
Oh, before we go, you guys, can you guys leave your handles, like your Instagram page, whoever's still on here, Tanzania. I know you're still on here. Can you leave your um website and pages and we'll get everybody else's tomorrow. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you guys to let people know where they can reach you at if they want to sign up for you for anything.
Sure. So, my handle, Karen, no, I am not. Even though I am young, I am not super young. I said, what is a handle, girl? Anyway, so I can be reached at built for FORUS Parrington PARENTING.com. Or you can find me on Facebook at Built for Us, or on Instagram at Built for Us, or you could just follow me, Tanzania Bacon. It is Tanzania like the country, Bacon. And so you can follow me on any of those. And all my contact information is on there, and you can reach me through the website, through all of my platforms. So that's my handles.
Thank you, Tanzania. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ray, for listening. She didn't get a chance to speak, but she was a little bit busy. But thank you for coming up and supporting. I will conclude part two as we will have two more ladies to come share their experience tomorrow. You guys, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. And if you missed tonight, you can go back and watch the replay. And then we'll conclude tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye bye.